For decades, world trade has been dominated by the dollar.
The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world.
The dollar is facing a revolt. The world knows it as the king of currencies, but the dominance of the dollar is now under threat. More and more.
This is spearheaded by powerful countries like China and Russia.
On the Facebook Live video on the April 10, 2022 at the 1 hour 29 minutes mark, the man of God Trinity Holy speaks of the dollar and what the future holds for the dollar currency.
I saw the dollar crashing. The dollar that is super all over the world. There's coming a time where it will be affected, and we are going to be forced to use digital currency. And all these things you can see slowly but surely that they are leading to the mark of the beast. Soon, people must have chips to enter the banks and everything. You have seen that, that's not prophecy. So whatever that Russia is doing, remember, China launched its nuclear in form of the virus that has hit the whole world, that has affected families, everyone. Then Russia has pulled the second move. So you must know that the third move must be leading everything towards this cashless society, like economy. This is now economy war. Economic wars where if you attack my finances, I must attack yours. Before you know it, we must come up with an agreement that let's all use one currency. That's where it's heading. We must all use one currency, because if you do this to me, I will do this to you. Before you know it, you hate my currency, I must affect your currency. So where are we heading? We're heading towards having one currency because of what's happening all around the world.
For decades, world trade has been dominated by the dollar.
The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world.
The SWIFT system, that actually became weaponized by the U.S.
The Monetary Authority of Singapore and the People's Bank of China have renewed the bilateral currency swap arrangement.
Saudi Arabia is in discussions with China to price some of its oil sales in yuan.
But as ties with Washington continue to be strained, Beijing and Moscow are diversifying.
China and Russia had taken another step closer towards dumping the dollar and agreed to trade in their respective national currencies, the Russian ruble and the Chinese yuan.
The dollar is facing a revolt. The world knows it as the king of currencies, but the dominance of the dollar is now under threat. More and more countries are looking for alternatives, and China's yuan is emerging as a clear challenger.
As de-dollarization of the international economy is gaining momentum, this is spearheaded by powerful countries like China and Russia. At the recent state visits by Chinese President Xi Jinping in Russia, President Vladimir Putin indicated that they are in favor of using Chinese currency for trade in other parts of the world like Africa, Asia and Latin America.
As a government, we have made innovative intentions and undertaken innovative strategy to ensure that we ease the burden of availability of dollar in our market.
Brazil and China are ditching the dollar. From now on, they'll use their own currencies for trade. So China is pushing the yuan. What about the Indian rupee? It's not far behind. The Indian rupee is also emerging as a serious contender. And why are these trends significant? Because currencies drive commerce. The dollar's dominance gives the US an outsized influence on the global economy, and a shift away from the dollar will only hurt America. It will also hasten the rebalancing of the global economy.
And therefore, for the people who work numbers, I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses.
We take heed of all prophetic words that are spoken, that we may learn to pray accordingly, and we take comfort that God still speaks to us today, and His plans for us are always for our good.